Hello, and welcome back to Topic Tuesday. My name is Alan Dembski, and I'm here with Juliana Jansen from Buffalo First Wealth Management. We took a little hiatus on videos, but we're certainly right back to the beginning. And we got an interesting topic for today. It's actually called FIRE. If people have never heard of it, it's financial independence and retire early. So we're going to spend a few minutes just talking about this buzz that's been going around for a few years now. And it seems to be a renewed talking point these days, whether you're on social media, watching videos online. So we thought we'd spend a few minutes on this topic as we go forward. So I'm going to turn it over to Juliana Jansen. She's kind of been reading more up on this than I have, but certainly we'll go through this topic, like I said, over the next few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. When I was in my 30s, I read the book that was widely credited with starting the FIRE movement called Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. And there are a lot of people that say, and I kind of caught myself among them, that this was life-changing from a personal finance standpoint. And the concept that is presented in the book is basically you ratchet down your spending so that you're spending way less than what you need to live, which allows you to save dramatically. And especially when you do it in your younger years, 20s, 30s, the magic of compounding takes over and allows your savings to provide you more freedom down the line. And now there are different types of fires. I didn't realize this until I started reading recently that there are different types of fires called fat fire and lean fire and chubby fire. So fat fire means, and they're kind of silly, but there's method to the madness. Fat fire basically means that you're still living kind of a normal life, for lack of a better term, but you're just being a lot more conscious about your spending.
Right.
Lean fire, on the other end of the spectrum, is kind of severe, where people really sometimes they're saving 50 or 60% of what they're making, which obviously you have to dramatically change your lifestyle in order for that to happen. And then chubby fire is actually kind of in the middle between fat fire and lean fire. And obviously, depending on how much you ratchet down your savings, is going to determine what you're able to do in terms of like a lean fire person. Their goal might be to leave the workforce entirely. And I know, Alan, because we worked together long enough, I know what you're thinking when I use the terms leave the workforce. So I'm going to just let you jump in because I know what you're going to want to say.
It's not necessarily leaving and retiring. It's what are you retiring to?
Yep,
Um,
exactly. Yeah, and that's definitely part of the consideration. I think that for the most part, a lot of people that embark on this have a pretty good idea of what they want their life to look like. And, I am in this job, which I love because of the way that I lived my life in my 30s, 40s, and beyond. And I am a firm believer that you can provide yourself a lot more flexibility down the line. You can provide a lot more opportunities when you practice fire. I did not, I can tell you right now, I was more of a fat fire person, not a lean or even a chubby fire person. And some of the factors, some of the questions, if you're watching this video and thinking, well, is fire right for me? The first question is, how restrictive are you willing to be with your spending? This is going to dictate what your options are down the road. So if there are elements of your lifestyle, of your spending that you're not willing to give up, that's okay. You just have to make choices in terms of what you are willing to give up. And the other huge thing is your partner on board? If you have a couple and one is all in on the fire movement and one is very much not, it's going to cause problems down the line, and it's going to cause a lot of disagreement. So you really kind of want to be aligned with the today and the future. Like you want to have sort of similar views of what's coming down the line because it's gonna be less fights basically.
Right. And
And
you and I have both been married for a long time. So
yeah,
not we're not married, but we've both been
yeah,
married for a long time. And it seems like every relationship, even ours and everyone that we know, there's always one money person and one investment person. It seems like both aren't doing the same money task in the household. So it's a
right.
really
But
good point.
and I can say for myself, my husband and I had a lot of conversations about this, and we were very aligned with what our goals were. So, highly recommend that. Highly recommend having those conversations and getting kind of granular in terms of what stays and what goes, and being able to make those joint decisions about what's important to you. And the other factor that kind of changes things. I read this book before I had kids, and obviously, kids are notoriously expensive. So things kind of had to change in our life when the kids came along, but we still were able to keep the fire ethos in our lives and allow us to stay on a path. We did have to modify it, obviously, when the kids came along.
Yeah, I just had a interesting conversation. I overheard a guy talking to a banker and said, if I didn't have kids, I would be retired by now yesterday. So I overheard the conversation. He didn't say that to us.
But they're worth every penny. They're worth every
They
penny.
certainly are. The other thing is to think about is, how is your income and your investments aligned? Do you have other income sources, or is that what you're relying on if you did retire early? Whether it's rental income, passive income from, investment portfolios, where is that other income coming from? Or maybe your spouse isn't ready to retire and you have another house in income coming in on that side as well. And then again, on the investment side, how is that portfolio structured not only for dividends or passive income coming in, and is it structured to provide a base if there is a lot of market volatility like we've experienced over the last 6 to 8 months here recently? In 22, there was a big downturn in the market, 25, 26%. Is your portfolio structured to withstand that and still provide me the income that I need going forward?
And that's where
Um,
having a handle on what you're spending is key too.
right.
That's the foundation of deciding what you do with the fire, is to really figure out, you've got to have an excellent handle on what you're spending.
And the other thing that we've come across to see really recently in the last few years with interest rates being as high as they are, people having those savings or emergency accounts in the wrong spot, passing up on those, a year ago, savings accounts, high yield savings accounts were over 5%. They're still around 4%. With some, whether it's Capital One, I think is close to 4%. There's some other high yield savings accounts where are you passing up on that, lazy money, making money for yourself?
Definitely. And I think, sometimes for people that are embarking on fire, the best thing to do is to start small.
Yeah.
Nothing bad is going to happen from saving more, basically. So you can kind of walk before you run in terms of the fire movement and see what feels comfortable for you.
Right. And it does vary greatly from person to person, and you can use the fire concepts to fit your lifestyle. We're not saying everyone should save 50% of their income and live on, it used to be, they used to say mac and cheese. But certainly, figuring out how the concept works for you and your budget to fit in any lifestyle, it can. We're not, again, not advocating for you to sacrifice your lifestyle to save at a, beyond great levels. So, it's people that are really curious about where they stand for retirement, what it comes down to. So, in closing, do you have any last few comments here?
Well, I love talking about it, and anybody that wants to reach out, we're happy to have conversations because it can be life changing.
So interesting. This will be broadcasted on Facebook and YouTube. Certainly let us know in the comments if you are a fire candidate, if you've already taken advantage of this concept and how it's worked for you. We would really like to know real life situations, people doing it and having great success, because the people that really do employ it do find a way to retire early. So with that, we're going to sign off for today. Stay tuned, subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch us on Facebook. And thank you very much.